Welcome to podcast series about digital transformation of inclusive youth work. This project and these podcasts are funded and created by Erasmus Plus project of the same name, Digital Transformation of Inclusive Youth Work. In this episode, we're going to talk about the strategy of digital transformation, and we have our guests. It's Stefan and Nicolina from Studio B Association, which is a managing partner on this project. So I have a couple of questions for you. One of the activities in this project is the strategy, which is based on the research. So I will start with the most general, probably the most obvious question. Does youth work here in this area where the research was conducted need digital transformation?
Hi, Maya. Thank you for your excellent question. Well, when we were in the process of writing this project, it was somewhere during and the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic, and as we know, a lot of activities were transferred online or in some hybrid modules. We realized as Studio B Association that we do not have enough capacities, knowledge, skills, abilities, knowledge of the tools to transform our work online. And we stopped with a lot of activities during that period. Then we talked with some other NGOs in our closer area, let's say Nova Gradiška region, maybe a little bit wider than that, to see if they were able to digitally transform their youth work activities, and they were also lacking the same capacities as we did. So we decided to apply this project to Erasmus+. We found and connected with partners from Germany, Sweden, and Austria that have successfully implemented their activities online or using some hybrid offline-online modules. We wanted to learn from them, to use that kind of lacking of capacity as a learning opportunity to transform our work. Erasmus Plus was a perfect opportunity as a program to do that, and within this project we created the strategy. Once the project was approved, we went much wider to question the needs of NGOs working with young people in all Slavonia region. We wanted to see, do they need to transform their work and how? And most of them, as our research showed, said that, yeah, they do have this need, not only regarding youth work in online environment, so providing activities in online environment, but also they said that they want to strengthen their capacities and digitally transform their work to upgrade their daily working processes from project and financial management to administrative tasks, and not to forget the hottest topic of the day, using AI technology.
AI. So just to go back, because the research is first focusing on young people. And so it says, based on the research, that young people use digital tools. Most of them said either on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But how can civil society organizations and NGOs support them in this using digital tools?
Yes, the research was done simultaneously with young people and with NGOs working with young people, that is youth NGOs and for youth NGOs. Young people said that, yeah, they do use digital tools on a daily or at least weekly basis. And according to our research that involved 56 participants, 15 to 30 years old from Brod Posavina County, they really use those tools, but they do not consider themselves really and fully digitally literate. And also they said that they are missing media literacy competence, that they are missing, they have issues actually regarding safety and privacy in the digital sphere. And also they don't know how to protect themselves, protect their privacy, or protect their some safety issues. All of this, starting from media literacy to safety, can be addressed by NGOs and can be addressed through youth work activities, whether those be education and so on. And they could provide activities that can either develop or enhance those competencies. Another thing that was stated is that youth from rural area especially face the issue of low quality of internet connection, and that is something that unfortunately NGOs cannot solve and cannot address. When we ask them how, okay, this is the support that you need, how do you want us to support you in this acquiring of knowledge and skills? They said that NGOs should show young people how to use digital tools, firstly to introduce them to useful digital tools, not just the fun ones, and then show them how to use it through quizzes, through fun games, and the vast majority of them believe that digital tools would improve the quality and frequency of participation in youth work activities. That is, if they are provided with fun and at the same time educational activities online, it's more likely that they will take part in it. Because we all know that youth work does face the challenge of low interest among young people.
Especially in digital form.
Yes, and in the conclusion, we realize that it is necessary to inform NGOs, empower them, and encourage them to use digital tools more often in their youth work, and to provide them the know-how.
Yeah, that's actually my next question. Because when you talk about the organizations themselves, they also said, okay, we use digital tools, and you mentioned that they use, like, I don't know, Zoom probably for meetings, or Google Drive, or those daily tools. But like, what other kind of support do they need to become more digital, let's say, on their everyday work?
I'm very glad that you asked that, Maya, because most civil society organizations engage in various forms of non-formal education, volunteer programs, and youth counseling, but their digital literacy and technical capacities, they are at least moderate. They say they predominantly use tools like Canva, like Zoom, like Dropbox, but they face barriers like budget limitations, insufficient access to modern technologies, technical equipment, limited digital literacy among both staff and youth, and lack of interactivity and existing tools that we use. So for some support that they said that they need, generally, they need a lot of training, practical training on digital tools with specific examples for youth work applications. Like, for instance, they would need a lot more knowledge about tools like Zoom, Canva, especially Canva, because in our organization we use it a lot for design and everything that is including social media, Google Suite for spreadsheets, docs, and everything else. Kahoot is something that we use a lot in our activities with youth, and they love it, so we continue to practice that. Padlet, Microsoft Teams, Photoshop, yeah.
So it's a variety of different tools that you know you cannot. It's very hard to expect one person to know all of these.
Yes, and we provide on our youth clubs and every other activities. We provide learning curve for this kind of tools. And with all of that, we go to technical resources. So that's the mostly problem of all of NGOs, because they don't have access to premium versions of tools. Like, for instance, we in Croatia, we don't have access to Canva for non-profits, like for our organization. And this is something that we use on a daily basis. And it would be like very good to have it. What's the deal with
Yeah, but okay, so as you said, like, organizations definitely need time, financial
Yep.
financial aspect as well is quite important, and the time to learn how to use all those tools. But like the strategy, which is based on this research, provides very specific steps and measures to carry out digital transformation. So, like, how do you plan to carry out those steps and those measures? Like, what are the steps for this strategy?
Yes, the strategy, as it was based on the information and data collected in the research and needs expressed both by youth and NGOs, the expert team that was working on the strategy created 4 priorities, along with specific goals, measures, indicators, and so on. Basically, we followed the strategic planning principles of evidence-based policy. That being said, our strategy has a very detailed implementation plan, which a lot of actually public policy or policy documents are often missing. So we have this implementation plan with guidelines that has measures and indicators, starting from public events to workshops, through offline and online campaigns, and up to advocacy activities. This implementation plan takes part up until end of 2027. So it's
quite a long term.
Yeah, it's in terms of strategy planning, midterm document. And we do have some support from some key stakeholders, such as our municipality of Vrabje, Brod Posavina County, schools in our local area, both elementary and high schools, other NGOs especially, and such. But we are missing a bigger level of support from decision makers at the national level that provides, they proved to be hard to reach and hard to influence, unfortunately. But some set goals, such as better internet connection that I already mentioned, low quality of internet connection, weren't achieved during the implementation phase of this project, and I'm not sure they will be achieved. However, some other goals that we set, some of them are being achieved during the implementation of the project with other project activities itself, and some of them we are adding extra activities throughout the year, last year and this year. What I said about these hard-to-reach decision makers, in our work, as we both know, persistence is key, and we are known to be very hardworking.
That's true. Okay, thank you, guys. So the strategy is online. Everybody can get it, download it. We invite everybody to read it. It's very informative and quite useful. Thank you guys for participating, and join us in the next podcast series.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, Maya.